Hello, 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 everybody. How are you doing this fabulous morning? Beautiful here in Dallas. It is cold because we are in the end of November almost, and it is winter, almost winter time. But good to see you all here. Thanks for being here. See you. Hi, Sherry. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. Good to see you. Hi, Kelly. How are you, my friend? Great to see you. Wow, the gang is really here. Good morning. Good morning. Awesome to see everybody. Well, thanks for chiming in and saying hello. It's always great to know that you are here hanging out. If you are watching this live, either on YouTube or Facebook or on my profile, my business page, you're watching this on Instagram, you're watching this via replay, thanks so much for taking a moment to hang out. So if you're new to this broadcast, you've never heard of me before, my name is Wholehearted by trade. I am an editor. I'm a writing coach. I help people craft their stories. I'm a former high school English teacher. Love, love, love all things stories, reading, and especially writing, and encouraging you to capture your stories in whichever form you choose and share those with folks. It's amazing what happens when we connect with stories, right? So today's mug of the day is, I always have a mug of the day. I've got to figure out a way to broadcast so that I don't have like a super high glare. Here we go. How's that? Is that a better angle? Anyway, yeah, I got to work on that. I'm going to see if I can, hold on. I'm going to see if I can lower the blind. See if that helps with my glare issue here. Is that better? Oh, still having, oh, you know what it is? It's the side glare. Now I'm in an almost completely dark office, but there's no glare, or maybe a little bit of glare. Oh, it's the screen glare. Ah, that's what it is. See if I get it over here to the camera. Well, anyway, this is by Campbell's Soup mug, signed by, I don't know if you can see it on here. There we go. Andy Warhol. Because as you know, Andy Warhol came up with the amazing graphics for these photographs that he made. And it's on my mug. I got this from the Art Institute in Chicago, where they have a complete wing for modern art. There's a lot of Warhol in there, and so you can check it out there. That's where my mug of the day comes from. Salute. Nothing like a nice warm mug of something to help us slow down a bit, right? Because next weekend, guys, is Thanksgiving. I won't be here next weekend because I'm going to be hanging out with family. I hope you're hanging out with family, or maybe it's just you and your significant other. Maybe it's just you and a friend. And that's okay too. But we have next weekend to sort of slow down, sort of reassess and be thankful. I know a lot of people have been talking about putting their Christmas decor up. They're hurrying to get in Christmas because they want to spend Christmas as much as possible. But we need to slow down and remember that we start the holiday season technically with Halloween. Then we move into Thanksgiving, a weekend where we slow down and we think about the things that we are thankful for, right? Excuse me. You're so looking forward to a chill and cozy weekend. Why do my allergies bother me when I'm live? I hydrate, I take medicine, I do things and about 10 minutes into the broadcast. All righty there. Well, I am looking forward to a nice, chill, and cozy weekend too. And because I was out of town, believe it or not, I'm going to be doing some work over the weekend. But that's okay because see, I was out of town last week doing a lot of stuff in Tennessee in my Tennessee house. And so now I'm back home here. I won't have any outside distractions. I won't have to worry about, I'm going to put an autoresponder on my email for the holiday weekend. And I'm going to dedicate myself to, we have 4 days out of the weekend. I'm going to dedicate 2 of those days to getting a major chunk of work done because, guys, it's hard to believe. It probably doesn't feel like it. But as I looked at my calendar, getting back home and reassessing everything and prioritizing it, this calendar is my 2021 finished calendar. John Acuff, he's one of my business mentors. I follow him, but he puts out a calendar every year called the Finish Calendar. And so you can write on it. You can get it in dry erase or you can get it in paper form. I get it in paper form. And I start filling in work, projects, any trips that I'll be taking to see my daughter or see other family members, work-related trips, right? Those kinds of things. Those are all listed here on my calendar. And so I'm realizing, wow, I'm getting down to the last box of the calendar, guys. You know why? Because believe it or not, Christmas is in 5 weeks. We have 5 weeks to get ready for Christmas. Does it feel like it yet? That's why a lot of people are putting up their Christmas decor and getting in the holiday spirit. And that's okay. I get it. I even brought some of my Christmas decorations from Tennessee that I had there, bring it here so I can start decorating. And there's going to be a Christmas tree right there. So I get being in the holiday spirit because we have 5 weeks, guys, 5 weeks to prepare. So where it can kind of seem overwhelming and that we have a lot going on, listen, we're going to take some time together, enjoy our coffee or hot chocolate or cider or tea or whatever it is that you love to have. You are able to reuse your 2020 finished calendar for 2021 because so much was canceled in 2020. Well done, Kelly. Great idea, right? And what I love is I can roll these up, and stash them away with my to just kind of have a sort of a flashback reminder of what the year was like, right? Cataloging all of those things, all of those stories, right? That happened in a year, that happened in a month, that happened in a week. So let's talk about this week's stories, guys. I went to Tennessee, worked for a week playing Tetris with the garage and a guest room and some other rooms in the house. And my poor daughter, while she's going to class and trying to do stuff, I'm just like, hey, can you go through this box? But we went through a lot of stuff. We purged, we made a huge dent. Well, one of many dents I think we'll make in the garage. But when you live somewhere, May of next year will be 18 years that we've lived in that house, that she's lived in that house. Mainly, I haven't lived in the house in the last 5 years, but she's lived there for 18 years. And so I also accumulated all the stuff that me and my late husband, we accumulated over our moves from Dallas to Nashville, from the moves we had in Nashville, to building this house, to be, having our own garage where we can store stuff. We also had it in a storage unit, right? Do you guys have a storage unit? Have you ever had a storage unit? The concept that we pay money to hold and store our things that we don't ever look at and use. So going through all of that, purging, but it was fun because as we went through the memories, we were recounting the stories. We were laughing and giggling and remember this and having those tangible things that we can see to look at to remind us of the stories in so many past calendars. I'm trying to wave here at the calendar over here. There you go, calendar. But the stories that happen over years of time. So anyway, we did that, got a lot of that done. And in the last week or so, I've had some great things happen. So in the entertainment world alone, I'm going to share you with just some quick things that were just, we know you. So we had Taylor Swift re-released her music from some of her albums. I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan, so I don't follow a lot of her music as closely. I'm really intrigued by this story, how um, her new 10-minute video thing that she did is about a breakup with Jake Gyllenhaal. I didn't know she dated Jake Gyllenhaal. Um, and Taylor, honey, can we go back to writing stories about things that make you happy instead of all the breakups that you have? Because nobody's going to want to date you if you're always going to write songs about what it was like to date them and break up with them. Right? So we had Taylor Swift releasing her album. We had Britney Spears released from her conservatorship, right? Paris Hilton got married. Finally. The poor girl, I tell you what, beautiful, um, has all of the blessings that this natural world can provide, being born into the family that she was born into. She's gone through a lot of stuff in her life, and now at 40, she has finally found someone that is a soulmate for her and can walk through the rest of her life with her. And I think that's amazing. I think that's fabulous. So Paris Hilton got married. Adele. Did you watch the Adele special? I think I had my hanky ready and I wanted to take up an offering. Adele's program was so, yeah, we were busy. Oh my gosh, we were so busy. Poor Savannah. I was like, don't worry, we'll get it all done, get it all cleaned up. I made sure to get them dinner and feed them well while I was there because we were just running 90 to nothing. So got home. I was so excited because yes, the Adele special with Oprah Winfrey. If you haven't seen it, you can catch it on streaming. Watch it. It's eye-opening. Adele did her concert at the Griffith Observatory there in Los Angeles. And I kind of put two and two together, sort of, because Michael and I were in Los Angeles not too long ago, remember? And I remember that there were signs up the day that we left. There were signs up that said Hollywood will be blocked off on these dates. And it was for from the 3rd to the 5th. Hollywood was going to be locked down. So I'm sure the businesses were not thrilled about that. But all the traffic, everything was well. Well, now I know why. Because Adele had her concert at the Griffith Observatory, and right down the road from Hollywood Boulevard, you go up that way, is the observatory. So that was amazing to watch. Her new album has finally dropped, right? It dropped this week, dropped yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, listen. I'm still on my I'm on my 3rd listen of it, of really going through the songs, but I've listened to all. There's a song called I Drink Wine. Love that one. Hold On is a great one. I'm really starting to warm up to that song. Anyway, listen to Adele's album. It's on, if you pre-ordered, you can get it. It's on Spotify. Check it out, right? And then I mentioned last week, ABBA's whole new album with the whole virtual reality concert thing they're doing, right? That's amazing. So there's so many great things coming on in music. Also, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss have they're issuing another album and they're touring together. That's going to be a great thing to see in the next year or so. I'm just super, super jazzed about that. So Robert Plant has been in Nashville recording with Alison Krauss. They have a new album. If you haven't ever listened to their collaboration before, check it out. It's really good. I love that it's another way of Robert Plant sort of expanding his music base, right? So many great things. going on in our world, great stories that we can catch up on. And here's a story that I was really, really excited to hear about. I don't know if you read about this in the news. I'm going to put this on the screen because I saw a teaser for this and I went, wait a minute, is that what I think it is? So there is, let's see here, find out. Here it is. This is what I want to share with you guys. I am super jazzed that there is a new show going to be come out, and it's about the Beatles, right? I just can't believe it exists. Peter Jackson takes us into the Beatles vault, locked up for 52 years. Do you all remember when I told you about that that program called Summer of Soul that was also streamed about the reels of film that they found that had been locked up for 50 years that was about the concert that happened around the same time that Woodstock happened, but it featured all Black artists. And you see an early Stevie Wonder and the Fifth Dimension and Mahalia Jackson and all of these people that are icons in R&B music and soul. And Questlove helped produce this. And I was so jazzed to hear about that. Well, it's the same thing with this. How was this footage locked away for 52 years, right? So what it is, Peter Jackson, there's going to be a 3-episode show and 2 hours of each episode. It's called Get Back. It's dropping on the 25th, Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you watch this. I plan on watching this. It's 60 hours. They had 60 hours total of the Beatles, shot by director Michael Lindsay Hogg in 1969. So it says, when the world closed down in March 2020, most of us had to make do with pretending to enjoy video calls with friends or baking bread. Peter Jackson, meanwhile, was busy sifting through a mountain of unseen footage. Can you imagine? His 4-year project is now finished. We finally completed it on Friday. And so it's going to be dropped on the 25th, originally envisaged as a feature film. Don't you love articles from Britain? COVID uncertainly saw plans revised. It is now 3 2-hour episodes using the massive outtakes from Lindsay Hogg's work on what would become Let It Be, the band's 4th feature film. It's amazing. I'm super excited about this. There are, and I saw some of the, like they're doing like excerpts on the news. Some of the stories that I've seen on the news talking about this has showed these clips, and it's intimate footage of them in the studio recording Let It Be. I'm just super jazzed, you guys. So make sure you check that out. If you have Disney Plus, I believe that's where it's streaming. Let me double check. I'll check the story here. Hang on just a second. You got your new finished calendar yesterday, Emily? Hey, friend. I know I'm going to be, that's going to be one thing that's put up next week. It's part of my tasks is to put that up. But yeah, I can't believe, guys, this whole thing with the Beatles. Yeah, taken at face value, it's a unique insight to the band at work, restored to a modern HD sheen. You know what's amazing about these things that they're finding that are 50 plus years old is that with our technology today, they can remaster it and make it look so clean and so sharp as if it was filmed yesterday. No Beatles pun intended. It's a study of the 4 of the most idolized and scrutinized individuals in the world in their prime. This is not just a music documentary, it's a history book come to life. Oh, you guys, I'm super excited. I'm going to share the link to the story because it has video clips with previews that you can check it out, or you could just Google it right now. Do Beatles Get Back, and you can look up the stories and see the footage and the clips yourself. Those are some amazing stories that are just happening in the last week or so. Things that are going on around us, things that are happening in culture, right? In music and entertainment, with people, things going on that are interesting. And I found those super interesting. And I thought I would share those with you. So I'll be sharing all of those in show notes on this video. And if you're in my VIP group, I'll be sending you all the links to that as well. So let's talk about books. With holidays coming up, you want to get maybe your friends or your loved ones, if you've got bibliophiles in your family, or if you're just looking for some new books to give as gifts that are out new. So I want to share some of these with you because these would make great gifts for folks in your family. If you have, share, get my screen share up here so I can share this with you. If you have any fans of The Office in your family, here, I'm going to change this to this. This will be easier right here. There we go. All right. So, this is the new book called Welcome to Dunder Mifflin, The Ultimate Oral History of The Office, right? So if you have an Office fan, if you were an Office fan, this will be a great book to have. So based on hundreds of hours of exclusive interviews with the cast and creators and illustrated with 100 behind-the-scenes photographs, here at last is the untold inside story of The Office, featuring a foreword by Greg Daniels, who adapted the series for the US from the UK version and was its guiding creative force. So, in Welcome to Dunder Mifflin, the entire Office gang reunites after nearly a decade to share their favorite inside stories, spill untold secrets, and reveal how a little show that barely survived its first season became the most watched series in the universe. This ultimate fan companion pulls back the curtain as never before on all the absurdity, genius, love, passion, and dumb luck that went into creating America's beloved show, The Office. So it features memories from the cast from Steve Carell, John Krasinski, Jenna Fisher, Greg Daniels, Ricky Gervais, Rainn Wilson, Angela Kinsey, Craig Robinson, Brian Baumgartner, Phyllis Smith, Kate Flannery, Ed Helms, Oscar Nunez, Amy Ryan, Ellie Kemper, Creed Bratton, Paul Lieberstein, Ben Silverman, Mindy Kaling, and more. So if you got a fan of The Office in your family, or if you're a fan of The Office, check this out. Grab a copy of Welcome to Dunder Mifflin. If you were a fan of the show, I was a fan of the show. I loved the show. And so that would be a great companion piece, kind of like how I have a lot of the stuff from Friends. You'll definitely want to grab one of those, especially if you have friends that are fans of the show as well, and that love, catching up, especially the girls, Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher. They have a podcast that talks all about the episodes of the Office. So this would be a great book to give someone like that who is a fan of the show. Another great book that's coming out, and I believe it comes out, let's see. Yeah, it's going to come out on the 30th. Okay. So this book that I'm about to share with you comes out on the 30th. Welcome to Dunder Mifflin also comes out on the 30th, just so you know. So these are books that are coming out the Tuesday after Thanksgiving weekend, right? So we'll go through Thanksgiving weekend. And then that Tuesday after is when, and I'll be sharing links of these, of course, on my page and in the VIP group. So you'll remember to grab these. But another great book that is coming out, if you are a Brené Brown fan, if you have ever followed her work or listened to her podcast or listened to her TED Talks, she's got a new book coming out, and it is called Atlas of the Heart. It's coming out on the 30th. All right, come on. There we go. So it's called Atlas of the Heart, Mapping Meaningful Connection and the Language of Human Experience. So in this book, Brené Brown writes, if we want to find the way back to ourselves and one another, we need language and the grounded confidence to both tell our stories and to be stewards of the stories that we hear. This is the framework for meaningful connection. Kind of like what we're doing here, right? I'm sharing stories and things with you. You all either comment or share with me your stories, right? And we use this platform for that opportunity for meaningful connections. Well, that's what she's doing in this book. But not only that, In Atlas of the Heart, Brown takes us on a journey through 87 of the emotions and experiences that define what it means to be human. 87 of the emotions. When I read that, I thought, wait a minute. 87 of the emotions. That's not all of the emotions, it's 87 of them. So when we say that we are all in our feels, let me just encourage you today. This is why you're all in your feels, right? Brene Brown is going to take us through 87 of the emotions and experiences that define what it means to be a human being. As she maps the necessary skills and an actionable framework for meaningful connection, she gives us the language and the tools to assess a universe of new choices and second chances, a universe where we can share and steward the stories of our bravest and most heartbreaking moments with one another in a way that builds connection. I love that because, there are times when we go through hard times. We've all been through this together in the last 18 months. And then if you look back over your life, maybe you've gone through some heartbreaking stories. You've also been through some exhilarating stories. And how we share those with one another is so important because it's that connection that makes us human, not the division, right? There is one that comes to steal, kill, and destroy, to cause division and sow hatred. And yet there is another way that provides meaningful communication and empathy and love for one another and with one another. So I'm excited about this book coming out because she's going to give us practical tools and actionable ways that we can create those kind of meaningful connections with others. If you're coming into the holiday season and you're going to be around family and you're just already taking a breath and gearing up, or maybe you are so excited to hang out with family because in the midst of your family are some really cool, fun, and amazing stories. Either way, I think this is going to be a great way to help us know how to make those connections and make them last, right? Because that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be doing that. So anyway, again, Atlas of the Heart by Brene Brown, really excited, comes out on November 30th. So does the book Welcome to Dunder, Mifflin. So write those down. I'll be sending you this info so that you'll have it. But also a book coming out on the 23rd. So this is this coming Tuesday. We've got a book coming out. Now, if you are an Outlander fan, if you've read the stories, if you have followed the stories, you kind of know where the series lends off. So this is Diana Gabaldon's latest release. It's the next installment of the Outlander story. Get it up here on the screen. One more time for good measure. There it is. It's called Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. So this is the next installment of the Outlander series. Jamie Fraser and Claire Randall were torn apart by the Jacobite Rising in 1746, or the Jacobite Rising. I always call it Jacobite. I don't know why, but it's Jacobite. And it took them 20 years to find each other again. Now the American Revolution threatens to do the same. So this book is set during the American Revolution. It is 1779, and Claire and Jamie are at last reunited with their daughter Brianna, her husband Roger, and their children on Fraser's Ridge. Having the family together is a dream the Frasers had thought impossible. Yet even in the North Carolina backcountry, the effects of war are being felt. Tensions in the colonies are great, and local feelings run hot enough to boil hell's tea kettle. Jamie knows loyalties among his tenants are split, and it won't be long until the war is on his doorstep. Yeah. So the Revolutionary War, this is going to be the setting of Diana Gabaldon's latest installment of Outlander. So if you are an Outlander fan, you'll definitely want to get this. It comes out this coming Tuesday, November 23rd. So great new book. You love reading Brene Brown? Yeah, I do too, Kelly. I think this new book is going to be really awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. So guys, if you need some ideas for Christmas, gifts. And I'm going to be sharing more of these in the coming weeks. I'm going to have 2 broadcasts left in December. The first 2 weeks of December, I'll be broadcasting live. I'll be sharing all kinds of Christmas cheer and things that make me happy during the holidays. And I'll be sharing new Christmas titles with you as they come out. So I'll be featuring children's books and encouraging stories that are either set during the Christmas time or centered on remembering why we celebrate Christmas, because it all starts with Thanksgiving, right? And of course, as I was going through my verses and I was like, okay, I want to look at verses that are about Thanksgiving. And I started looking. Well, of course, we're led to Psalm 100, right? It's a psalm for Thanksgiving. I love that that's what it says, a psalm for Thanksgiving. Shout joyfully to the Lord, all the earth. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful singing. Know that the Lord himself is God. It is he who has made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving. I think of like the Macy's parade. Do you watch the Macy's parade? I'm going to watch the Macy's parade. There's supposed to be 4 new floats in the Macy's parade. So enter his gates with thanksgiving, right? And his courts with praise. Give thanks to him. Bless his name, for the Lord is good. His loving kindness is everlasting, and his faithfulness to all generations, right? When you do that, it puts you in a thankful heart sort of attitude, right? Because it's really all about our attitude and how we approach things and how we respond to things in this world, right? And how we share our stories. It's what shapes our stories. And so remember this holiday season as we go into this next week. Maybe you're going to have classes or you're going to have work, and that's going to start the week. But then you're going to have 4 days set aside. Think about the things that you're thankful for. Think about the people that you're thankful for, the relationships, the meaningful connections, the things in your life right now that you have that maybe somebody else might wish they could have. So be thankful, even in the hard times. Find the joy that is within those moments because it's there. It's in our thanksgiving and our praise and our appreciation that we come to appreciate life and stories of others and our own, even if we're going through a hard chapter. So those are some books that I wanted to recommend to you. I wanted to share because as I was pondering and thinking about that this morning, I just wanted to share because I think it helps put us in a thankful spirit and we're open to all of the great things that God has for us, right? So speaking of great things, we're doing our book club reading this month, and we are reading Wholehearted Faith by Rachel Held Evans. This book is blessing me because her words are so important. Let's see here. I love this. In my previous books, I've written about my own evolution of faith, my wrestling with the church, and my shifts in the understanding of the Bible. You could say that I have had to examine the various fragmented pieces of my religiosity one by one. Some people might say that they are spiritual but not religious, but I think the evidence of my life shows that I'm still pretty religious, and I'd be a fool to try to argue against that. But here I glean from those previous explorations as well as venture onto new fields because I'm still evolving, still wrestling, still shifting, still examining. What is this abundant life of faith that Jesus invites us into? In the context of the Christian story, what does it mean to be whole? I love that. And so that's what we're reading through. That's what we're kind of learning about. We're learning about Rachel's viewpoint and how she struggled with her own and her voice and how she helped so many thousands of people just by sharing her story. It started on a blog. It blew up and got so much attention because she speaks on things that are relevant to people today who have either been hurt by the church or abandoned by the church, right? How does a person have faith and be whole in a world that feels so rattled? Unfortunately, we lost Rachel too early. She was only 39 or 37, I believe, 37, 39, something like that, when she passed away. And so this is what is left of the writing she was working on. This is her last book. And her friends and her husband got together to finish it and include some essays of things that she had written. So we're doing this in book club this month. If you would like to get a copy of it, you can. I'll be sharing the links to that. Oh, goodness. I hope we can edit that out of future episodes. Oh, my goodness. I'm a little bit clamped. Wholehearted Faith. We're doing this month, in the month of November, for our book club. And next month, I'm really excited about this because we are doing this book for the month of December. So it is called Feeding the Soul by Tabitha Brown. You probably know of Tabitha on social media. She's really huge on Instagram, has done so many great things. She's now starting to form, doing collaborations with different products, different people. And what I'm really excited about during the month of December, she's launching her own children's show. Aunt Tabitha's going to be doing a show for the chillins. Yes, she is. So we're going to be doing Feeding the Soul. And the book is called Finding Our Way to Joy, Love, and Freedom. She also shares some great recipes in here because Tabitha is vegan and she eats vegan. So she includes some of her favorite recipes for people who want to try vegan cooking. Oh, goodness. So, book club. If you would like to join the book club, if you would like to be a part of our book club, or if you would like to get on my list and learn all about the books, new book announcements, things that are coming up, you can join right here. Just go to my website. It's ronaeharden.com/contact. Maybe you can recommend an ENT that I could go see about my allergies. You can offer up prayers if you want for when I get these attacks. Oh, my goodness. Nothing like having it on a live broadcast. But we are going to be discussing those books for November and December. If you would like to be part of the book club, you can join us right here. Drop me a note and let me know that you would like to join. And you'll be on the list also to find out about the books that we're going to be reading in 2022. I'm also going to be putting together my own list of some of my favorite things from this past year. There'll be products. There'll also be stories, books that we read, or books that I read that I enjoyed over 2021. So I'll be sharing that with my VIP people as well. So if you want to get on that list, right here is how you do that. ronaeharden.com/contact. I got to look through and see if there's any other people who live stream and end up having like sneezing fits or coughing fits while they're live. But it happens. It's live. It's life. It's what happens. And my allergies have been giving me fits this year. Maybe I'll talk about the allergy products later in a broadcast that have helped me kind of get this under control, which means I probably need to go take some. But all that to say, guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for slowing down for a little bit, at least hanging out with me for a few minutes and having some coffee, watching me cough and sneeze, and wipe my eyes with a tissue. But enjoy a cup of coffee together and slow down and share some meaningful time together on these platforms. Because isn't it fun that we can just hang out like this, share like this, get together like this, and overcome these things, right? I mean, if I can go live and have a sneezing fit and blow my nose on a live stream broadcast, you think of the things that you can do. Probably not some of that. But I hope whatever you do this weekend and Thanksgiving week, that you are blessed, that you have a blast. Oh, sorry about the allergy. Thank you, my friend. Let me tell you, they hit at the worst times, right? They hit at the worst times. And I thought I was okay. Got up this morning. I was going, doing all my stuff. They just hit out of the blue, right? A little irritation. But that's okay. That's okay. How we respond to the things that happen to us is what determines how our week will be and how our weekend will be. So, you know what? I know y'all love me, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch and hang out with me. So, if I get a little kerfluffled, just bear with me. Maybe next time I'll go off camera like this, and I'll be like, here's today's topic, discuss. And then I'll go like this and take a moment to blow my nose. Today, I chose to do it live. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Thanksgiving week. I'll be back here the first Saturday of December, which I believe, looking at the calendar, will be, let's look at the calendar and see what it says. December 4th. So I'll be back here December 4th, and then the following weekend on December 11th with lots of holiday cheer. So get ready. Are you ready? Does it feel like it's time? Are you caught up on your Christmas shopping? I've kind of done some, but I haven't even really started. So that's another thing that I'm going to try to do next week before the weekend, before it gets crazy, because I don't want to be out there amongst all those crazies. I'm going to do some online. I've already got some packages. So hope yours goes well. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll see you back here on the 4th where we get to celebrate Christmas. Hope you have a great one. Share your awesomeness with someone today. They need it, and they need to get yours too, right? So share your awesomeness today. You never know how you'll make a difference. You've already made a difference in mine just by being here and putting up with all of these shenanigans on a live stream. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you back in 2 weeks.